Hi friends, welcome to Bowl of Light Yoga. I'm Danielle. This is a practice to welcome the sun, the spring equinox. You might want a blanket and a couple blocks for this practice. Let's get started in child's pose. So if it's okay for you, keep your knees together in this child's pose. And as you fold forward, you can bring your arms back by your sides, forehead to the mat. And to begin, just envision your little seed underground. Maybe something you've been thinking about, working on, or planning since the fall through the long winter months. And now with the energy of spring, your seed will begin to bloom. What is that going to look like for you when that seed blooms? Let's take 2 more deep breaths in this child's pose. And when you're ready, you can gently begin to lift your upper body. So you're seated here in Vinyasa, hero's pose. Just take your hands back behind you and find a gentle back bend here. Just opening your heart to the sun as your seed begins to grow and expand. On your next inhale, sweep your arms up as you come up onto your knees. Let's clasp your left wrist with your right hand and bend on over to the right here. Again, maybe keep a little bit of a twist. Keep your heart shining up to the sun. Your next inhale, let's come back up to center. Switch wrists, and on the exhale, fold to the left. Next inhale returns us up to the top, raising your arms, maybe a little bit of a back bend here. And we'll come forward into tabletop position. Let's find some cat-cows. So inhaling to cow as your head and tailbone flare up to the sky. Exhale, rounding to cat. Crown of head and tailbone point towards the earth. Inhaling cow. Exhale cat. Let's do 2 more here with your own breath at your own pace. Return to neutral spine when you're finished. Tuck your toes under. Push yourself up to downward facing dog. Keep your knees deeply bent here. You'll begin to pedal your feet out, rocking your hips side to side a little bit here. Just waking up the back body. Come to stillness. On your next inhale, come forward to plank. You can lower your knees to the earth or keep them lifted. Everything else is lifting up towards the sky here. We're not dumping into anything. This is a very active posture. And on your next inhale, I want you to firm your abs so tightly that your hips lift to the sky, and we're back in downward facing dog. We're going to do that again. So next inhale, come forward to plank. And on your next inhale, engage your core so much Let your hips lift to downward facing dog. Come forward to plank one more time here. And then begin to bend your knees like you're coming back into tabletop, but keep them hovering off the earth, maybe an inch or two above the earth here. Core is firmly engaged. Knees are just hovering off the earth. Just a few more breaths. And gently set those down. Begin to walk your hands out in front of you here for Anahatasana, puppy pose. Melt your heart to the earth. Your forehead can come resting on the mat, or if it's available and comfortable in your neck, you can put your chin on the mat. Let's take one more deep breath here in puppy. Walking yourself back up to tabletop position here. Tuck your toes under and push yourself back up to downward facing dog again. Look to the front of your mat. Walk or hop your way up to the top of the mat. Forward fold. And let's slowly roll up to the top. Coming into Tadasana. Shoulders, neck, and head are the last things to come up. We'll find a couple gentle shoulder rolls here. And we'll do some sun breaths. So inhale, arms sweep up and overhead, saluting the return of the sun. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, halfway lift, hands come to your shin, find some length in your spine. Exhale, fold. Inhale, reverse swan dive. Arms come up and overhead, palms meet above your head. Exhale, hands to heart center. Let's do that again. Inhale, arms sweep down, around and up. Exhale, forward fold, Uttanasana. Inhale, halfway lift, find some length. Exhale, fold. Inhale, arms sweep down, around and up, returning us back up to tall mountain. Exhale, hands to heart center. Let's do that one more time. Inhale, arms sweep down, around and up. Exhale, folding. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, reverse swan dive. And exhale, hands to heart center. This time, let's flow through a full vinyasa. Inhale, arms sweep down, around and up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, hands to shins, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Step back to plank, high plank chaturanga, or lower all the way belly to cobra, your choice. I'll catch up with you in downward facing dog. Inhale, right leg up as high as you can. Bend your right knee, opening right hip. Go ahead and square your right hip to the mat. Then we'll bring right elbow, or right knee to right elbow in high plank position. Back up to three-legged dog. Right knee twists under to left elbow. Tap. Back up to downward facing dog. Right knee comes up to tap your nose. Down dog. And this time we'll step right knee, right foot through to the top of your mat. Lower your back knee. Take a breath here in your lunge. Bring your hands to your right knee as you begin to lift your upper body here. Take a nice deep breath. And inhale, arms up overhead. Exhale, settling into your low lunge. Go ahead and release your arms. Clasp your hands behind you and find a bit of a back bend here. Shining your heart up to the sun. Welcoming spring. And gently release your hands. Frame your front foot. Tuck your toes back under. And we'll step back to downward facing dog. Let's inhale, left leg up as high as you can. Open your hip, bend your knee. Square your hips to the mat here. And we'll take left knee to left elbow. Back to three-legged dog. Left knee, right elbow. Back to three-legged dog. Left knee to nose. Three-legged dog. And left foot steps through. Right knee lowers for low lunge. Taking a breath here. Go ahead and bring your hands to your left knee. Beginning to lift your upper body. And let's lift arms up overhead and settle in just a bit more. Release your hands behind you, taking the clasp that is a little more unusual for you. Finding a back bend. And we'll gently release that. Lift your right knee and step up to the top of your mat in forward fold. Inhale, arms sweep down, around, and up to tall mountain. Exhale, hands to heart center. You can go ahead and move your blanket off your mat if you have it. And we'll come into tree pose on our left foot. So go ahead and find your stability on your left foot here, sending your roots deep into the earth, drawing up strength through your standing leg, lifting through, and then find your foot placement for tree. So your foot can be propped up on the floor, on your calf, or on your inner thigh, anywhere but your knee. So finding your tree posture here. You could bring your arms up overhead. Keep them at heart center, whatever you'd like to do here. Let's take one more deep breath here in tree. Release your right foot without setting it to the floor and step back to Virabhadrasana 1, Warrior 1. So setting up your Warrior 1. When you have your foundation, arms can come up overhead, bending into that front knee. There is a bit of a back bend here in Warrior 1, so go to your comfort level. And if it is comfortable, you can reach your arms back and shine your heart up to the sky. Let's release your arms. Straighten your front leg. And maybe move your back leg in a bit if you need to, setting up for pyramid here. So both of your toes will now be facing the front edge of your mat. Bring your arms behind you so you can either grab opposite elbows or reverse prayer hands, whatever you'd like to do here. Opening up your chest, finding a little bit of a back bend here. And then with a flat back, keeping that heart shining forward, let's fold forward into pyramid. If you can keep your hands behind you the whole time, go ahead and do that. Otherwise, you can release them to the floor for support. Let's inhale, returning up to standing through a flat back. You can release your hands, adjust your stance as you need to come into high lunge here. Arms come up overhead, sinking into your high lunge. And we'll release left hand to left hip. Right arm is going to reach forward as far as you can. Bend your elbow, hook it on your left knee for a twist. You can always release that back knee to the mat if that's better in your body. Let's take one more deep breath in this twist. You can gently place your hands on the mat. Step left foot back to meet right foot in plank. We'll take a vinyasa, your choice. Chaturanga up dog or belly to cobra. And downward facing dog. Lift your right leg, keeping your hips square to the mat. Pull your knee into your chest, setting right foot down for warrior one. Set yourself up here. When your foundation is ready, lift your upper body for warrior one. Front knee stays directly over front ankle. I love the calf stretch I get in warrior one. And we'll release our arms. Straighten your front leg for pyramid. Find your hand variation here. Shine your heart up to the sky and fold forward over your right leg. Engage your core here to lift your upper body upright and shifting into high lunge here. Adjusting your stance and settling in. Right hand will release to right hip. Left hand is going to reach forward as far as you can. Nice long spine. Bend your elbow, hook your right knee, and twist to the right. Let's return to center here. We'll step back to the top of the mat and we'll come into tree on our right leg. So finding your tree variation here, whichever variation is right for you. And let's release left foot to the floor and kind of shake out your legs there for a second. All right. Inhale, arms down, rounding up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, find some length in your spine. Exhale, fold. Inhale, we'll step back to plank. Your choice. Belly to cobra, chaturanga to up dog, downward facing dog. Let's go ahead and lift your right leg. We'll do those knees again. So right knee to right elbow, back to three-legged dog. Right knee to left elbow, three-legged dog. Right knee to nose, three-legged dog. Right knee steps, right foot steps to the outside of your right hand for lizard. You can set your back knee down. We'll open up our right foot here so that your hip can open to the side. And if it's available to you, come down onto your arms, your forearms. Maybe you bend your back knee, reaching around with your right hand to the outside of your left ankle, and then kick gently into your hand to open your chest up to the sky. If you've got your foot, gently release that. Return back to center. And we'll heel toe your right foot over to the left, setting up for pigeon. So lift your hips. Make sure they're square to the front of your mat. Make sure your back leg is coming directly out of your hip. It's not out to the side. We'll fold forward here. There is a twist you can take in pigeon if you'd like. So you'll set up similar to thread the needle. You'll just take your left hand, threading it underneath your right as left ear and shoulder come to the mat. Right arm can walk out in front of you, up above your head, or you can wrap it around for the bind, finding your left or your right foot here and holding on to your right foot. If you have the twist and bind, gently release that, returning to the center. And we'll push ourselves up here to three-legged dog, opening up your hip. And we'll set right foot down into down dog. And inhale your left leg, keeping your hips square here. And as you exhale, left knee, left elbow, three-legged dog. Left knee, right elbow, three-legged dog. Left knee to nose, three-legged dog. And left foot steps forward to the outside of your left hand, setting up for lizard. Lower your back knee. Come to the pinky toe side of your left foot, and then come on down onto your forearms if that's available to you. And maybe you want to bend your back leg, reaching around, taking the outside of your right ankle with your left hand, and then kick into your hand to open your chest, shining your heart to the sky, absorbing that delicious sunshine. And if you've got your foot, you can gently release that. Return to center, setting up for pigeon on this side. So we'll heel toe our left foot over to the right. Left knee settles behind left wrist. Square your hips. Check your back extended leg. And then fold forward. Again, if you'd like to take that twist on this side, right arm will thread behind left. Left arm can walk forward above your head or wrap behind you, taking a hold of your left foot. If you are twisted and bound, gently return yourself to center here. And we'll push back up into three-legged dog, opening your left hip. Set your left foot down for down dog. Lower your knees for tabletop and come to seated here. We'll set up for Gomukasana. Cow face legs. So right leg on the bottom, left leg on the top. Stack your knees. Find your foot placement. And this time, instead of doing traditional Gomukasana arms, we're just going to take a little bit of a twist here. So left arm comes behind, right arm comes over, and find a twist. And gently release that. Let's just take a slight counter twist here. And we'll switch sides. Left leg comes on bottom, right leg on top. Root your sits bones down, find some length in your spine, and we'll twist to the right. Release that twist. Take a gentle counter twist to the left. And we'll come to a comfortable seated position. So we're all set up for seated meditation here. If you would prefer to take Shavasana, Go ahead and lie down, completely surrendering. Otherwise, stay here in seated meditation. Bring that image to mind. Your seed, what it's going to look like when it blooms. Manifest your vision here. I encourage you to stay in Shavasana or seated meditation for as long as you're able. Thank you so much for practicing with me today. Happy spring. Namaste.